Welcome to Educator Dr. Mom TV. So today's lesson is an education lesson, and it's really an idea that I got from a book from Dr. Steve Perry. And the name of the book is called Push Has Come to Shove, Getting Our Kids the Education They Deserve, Even If It Means Picking a Fight. So that lets you know that this book has some, maybe a little bit of controversy in there, but he is serious about educating kids. I have so much respect for him. I followed him for many years. He used to be a education correspondent for CNN, and that's when I first became familiar with him. And so I follow his journey, and he's really serious about educating children. And one of the ideas that he had in his book was conducting an academic audit of your home, which it sounds a little, intense, but in actuality, it's really practical, and it's something that didn't even occur to me that should have occurred to me in terms of just assessing and making sure you have a balance of entertainment versus academic things, learning things in your home. And the reason that it is so important to take a look at this is because what I know for sure is that actions speak louder than words with children. And so we can tell them that education is important and they need to be serious about their school, but what are we modeling to them? If we are spending lots of money on entertainment and tech toys and video games and things that just entertain us, and we're putting very little money into books and learning games and board games and things where they could really be getting education from, and they see us participating with them is a really big one, then we show them that we value that as well over just the entertainment things. And so it's really something to think about, because I think consciously, unconsciously, we may say things to children without using our words, because we show them what's important by how we act and what we model to them. And so this was a really big deal for me. This concept was really big. It was something I really want to share with other parents and with educators that I know, so that they can share with their parents, because it seems very practical and like, oh yeah, duh, but it's something that I hadn't even thought about, and being intentional about showing value for learning games, learning toys, learning outside of school, my children seeing myself and my husband reading books and not just watching TV or having our phones in our hand or whatever. And so this lesson is all about just assessing your home and what messages are you sending to your children through the things that are in your home. And so it's something to think about, right? It's something that for me was like an aha moment. And so I did it over the winter time, because in the winter, you can't play outside as much. And so I had to be really creative with making sure that we had some academic things, because in the wintertime it's really, really easy to get sucked into TV and just being a couch potato because it's so cold outside. And so I had to be really creative in the wintertime. But in the summertime, you can get outside and you can do a lot of learning things outside. And I just, I'm all about the fun life, don't get me wrong. We like to have a lot of fun, but I also know that you can have fun and have your kids learning something new. And so I'm all about that life too. So what I'm gonna do today is just do an assessment, if you will, of the education things that I have in my home. Learning games, books. I'm gonna sort through some books because sometimes during the holiday months, winter months, I had a lot of books about pumpkins and Christmas trees and snow and things like that. So I'm gonna kind of separate those books and put them away for the winter. I also like to rotate toys, just because, first of all, I am not that parent that is all about the toy life. In fact, once we outgrow a certain area, we keep toys in a certain area in our house for the most part. And once that area starts to overflow, that means we have too much, because you can't play with all that stuff at one time anyway. So I am all about shifting toys. And so usually I'll put some away, and they can play with the ones that they have. And guess what? When I bring out those toys again the next season, they're like brand new toys. They're brand new for them. They play with them all over again like they're brand new. And the thing is, when kids have a ton of stuff, they just go from toy to toy. They can't concentrate. They can't do, you know, even if it's a learning game or a learning toy, they can't sit long enough in order to get value out of it because there's so much, and they just go to the next thing. And so I'm all about shifting toys and putting stuff away to the side. And so basically I'm just going to go through my house and do this academic audit myself, given I do have a 1 and a 3-year-old. So, you know, we're learning, but it's limited. But for those of you who have older children, you could still be doing science experiments and cooking together and reading together, or reading a play and then going to see the play. I mean, there's tons of things that you could be doing to show your children that you value education with your actions and not just with your words. So be creative, and if some things come to you, please share with me. I would love for you to share your comments below. Let me know what you're doing this summer with your children to encourage learning, and also any suggestions and tips you might have for little ones, because I'm in that area right now. So if you have any questions or any specific suggestions for me, also leave a comment below. I'll be sure to reply. If you're new to my channel, hello. I'd love for you to subscribe. I upload videos every week in the areas of education, parenting, home and wellness, and just life in general. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Take care. God bless. So the first thing I do is go through books and activity bins. I go through books and try to pull out the books that are relevant, get rid of the ones that maybe we have read a lot, and I try to also connect a theme. So if we're learning about fish for the week, I try to pull out the fish books and the fish puzzles and just try to make it relevant to the moment. I also just rotate the cards that we're learning, whether it's numbers or word cards. Second thing I do is go through the toy box, and I go through our activity cabinet where we just keep things that we're working on and try to make sure that the things that we're working on are relevant to what we're doing at the moment. The third thing I do is go through all the learning apps and games. Sometimes my daughter outgrows them and she needs new things, so I try to find things that can keep her attention and keep her learning. The fourth thing I do is go through our activity books. I try to look for new activities that we can do together that will keep her engaged. Lastly, I look for new ideas. I go through Amazon and Pinterest, just looking for new things that we can do together to keep her learning and active.